Everyday chat and chart live during the New York session. Here, real traders share the raw truth, their mindset, technical analysis, and execution. This is where real traders show their skill set. Welcome to Tradin TV. This is your stage to shine.
Hi guys. I guess I'm all alone today. Welcome to the stream. Good evening, boys. Uh, did anyone take any trades today? I'm sharing my screen. Pretty much a chill day for me. Nothing major. So in the London session, I did take a trade. So it was pretty simple. The logic of the trade was just give me 1 second, guys. Yeah. So the logic of the trade was like after the open, we do have like a top wick made, and the market was continuing towards the downside. This was the first place where it swept liquidity and started to dump. Again, it came back to the retest level of my standard deviation and again dumped. And if we see on the DXY came down, took some kind of liquidity and then started to pump. So this is a breakout on DXY as well, right? So if you see, it's a breakout on DXY. So considering this, I was a bit bearish on gold. So I just waited for a sweep of some particular high before I entered. So there was no sweep in between when the London session actually opened, but there was a sweep exactly at London Open. So this was 3 a.m., which is London Open. So you can see it just came down, swept some liquidity, and then started to dump. So my entry was somewhere here. Stop loss was about this. The target was the nearest standard deviation liquidity, which is pending below this level. So that is where I targeted. So I think it's a pretty clean trade. I think 1:4 or something. Did you guys take any trades? It's a pretty slow day. I think it's a bank holiday in the UK as well. गोल्ड का व्यू, भाई अभी तो सी आई एम स्टिल बेरिश, although it did take the liquidity and started to like push from this exact level which was marked. So this was the liquidity zone. तो ये वाला liquidity zone अगर मान लेते हैं, there was a demand which was sitting below this. So obviously it did take support from there and reversed. But considering DXY का अभी जो भी आप देखते हो, DXY is still bullish. It gave a breakout retest and then continuing to become bullish more. So I'm expecting the sell should still continue for the day. That's uh, that's something which is something which I'm expecting. The bias is still bearish. Mhm. Nice. लॉन्ग टर्म कहाँ तक है बायस? सी लॉन्ग टर्म तो बता नहीं सकते हैं बिकॉज आइडियली ये बहुत बड़ा रेंज में फंसा हुआ है। तो इफ़ यू सी अभी वीकली टाइम फ्रेम में अलग सा चार्ट दिखा देता हूँ। राइट, तो वीकली टाइम फ्रेम में क्या हुआ था, यहाँ पे एक बड़ा सा विक बना दिया इसने। ठीक है, तो ये विक का लिक्विडिटी भी यहाँ पे पड़ा हुआ था। एंड ये वाला विक जो है इसको तो स्वीप मारा था। तो इन ए वे ये दोनों के बीच में है, तो अनलेस ये रेंज से वगैरह मतलब बाहर नहीं आ जाता इधर से, तो इट इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट। तो तब तक तो ये चॉप तो रहने वाला है, थोड़ा बहुत स्लो प्राइस एक्शन रहने वाला है, जो आई थिंक वी ऑल्सो सॉ इन लाइक अप्रैल ना। तो अप्रैल के महीने तो थोड़ा बहुत खराब था मेरा भी। आई लॉस्ट कपल ऑफ अकाउंट्स एंड आई ऑल्सो लाइक लॉस्ट सम फंडिंग एज वेल। So April was bit tough for me as well, but again, if you see, it was bit of chop and वो choppier price action था बहुत कुछ। तो वही मतलब I think if we consider saying that भाई ये वाला अगर ड्रॉप सही है, which means sorry, which means if this drop is valid, तो ये वाला ड्रॉप के बाद इसने रिट्रेस किया एंड यहाँ से फिर ड्रॉप किया, मतलब एक और लो नया सा लो बनाया एंड वहाँ से फिर रिट्रेस किया एंड स्टिल अगेन इट इज गोइंग फॉर द सेकेंड लेग। तो टेक्निकली ऑन ए डेली टाइम फ्रेम इफ वी लुक एट दिस, ऑन ए बिगर टाइम फ्रेम इट लुक्स बेरिश, बट इफ यू सी लाइक अभी के टाइम फ्रेम के हिसाब से नाउ इट इज मेकिंग हायर हाई हायर हाई हायर हाई। अभी यहाँ तक आके फिर वापस हायर लो बनाना शुरू कर दिया। तो लॉन्ग टर्म तो बता नहीं सकते अनलेस इट कम्स आउट ऑफ दिस रेंज, राइट? सो इट हैज टू कम आउट ऑफ दिस रेंज या फिर दिस रेंज। तो अगर ये ब्रीच कर दिया इसने, तो आराम से हमें ये देखने को मिलेगा। अगर ये ब्रीच कर दिया, देन द लोएस्ट इज समवेयर दीज लेवल्स व्हिच इट इज गोइंग फॉर। ठीक है, जो 4000 के आसपास है। अगर इसने मतलब इफ यू कंसिडर दिस एज द ट्रेंड, कि भाई यहाँ से थोड़ा बहुत कंसोलिडेट करके इधर इधर कंसोलिडेट करके बाद में ये ब्रेकआउट करके फिर वापस ऐसा जाएगा, देन दैट इज समथिंग विच वी माइट एक्सपेक्ट इन नेक्स्ट कपल ऑफ मंथ्स, राइट? तो um, why I speak, someone asked the question in Hindi, bro. That's why I spoke in Hindi. What else, guys? What else? Do you have a Telegram channel? No, I don't have a Telegram channel. I have a Discord channel. So if you want to join Discord, you can. Any questions, guys? Pretty slow day, I know, but GC. What would be the NY target? See, ideally, first it has to like so if we are considering key like this is the sell leg and this is the retracement, and now it is planning to continue. So technically, it might start at 8:30, like when the pre-market opens. So 8:30 is very crucial. So we would have to see what does NY want to do. So if NY wants to like basically go up, cover these gaps, whatever have formed, then it might go up for a time being, like till here, or maybe sweep this liquidity and then start to like go towards the downside. But if NY wants to dump from here, which means like this was the sell leg, and again, this is the sell leg, this is the smaller sell leg, this is the retracement leg, and if it wants to dump, then we are technically bearish for the lower time frames until this level or this level, right? So we can easily expect if NY starts to continue, we can easily expect these levels. If not, then probably this is another level for the buying side, which it might hit, right? So currently, I'll just wait until 8:30 opens. So that is where we can look for some kind of trades. What about NASDAQ? Okay, let's see NASDAQ. Right. So NASDAQ, I think again it's the same concept. So it was pretty bullish, all bullish side price action considering all of this. This was the sweep. I think this is where it tried to retest, and this is exactly where it tried to retest. Now it is bouncing back, right? So we can look for longs considering the current time which we are in. So if we are looking at longs, we can probably look for some longs in between this because of the sweep and then a reverse. But again, there is always a chance that 9:30 when it opens, then the market when it opens, it might retest some of these levels and start to dump as well, right? So it's if you want to scalp right now, maybe you can. This was a very good trade because this is the sweep, this is the retracement, and you have a small sweep of liquidity over here. This was the liquidity. This is the bearish shift in the shift in the structure. So from bearish to bullish, there was my level as well. So this is something which someone could have taken, targeting either this high or maybe this high. But again, it's pretty much we would have to consider the overall trend for the day as well and see how it works out. Any more questions, boys? आपने 5 मिनट स्लीप में ट्रेड लिया। 15 से 5 था इसमें। हाँ मतलब ये टाइमिंग के ऊपर भी डिपेंड करेगा ना भाई। तो दिस टाइमिंग वाज वेरी क्रूशियल ना। तो इफ यू सी दिस वाज अराउंड लंडन ओपन, सो दैट इज अराउंड 8 a.m. ना। तो that's something which we have to look at as well. Seems like a flip day. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. It would probably turn, as I said, it will go up, maybe sweep this liquidity or this liquidity. And 8:30 or 9 o'clock, it might start to reverse, but I don't think so. It will be a flip. Let's see. I don't know. It's pretty sideways. Uh, any more questions, guys? गोल्ड में कितने सेटअप हैं? अप्रोक्स 4 से 5 सेटअप में ट्रेड करता हूँ। Did anyone take any trades? भाई बहुत सिंपल है। आई थिंक आई माइट टेक द एशिया ओपन विच इज द गैप फिल सेटअप, लंदन कंटिन्यूशन, न्यूयॉर्क का रिवर्सल, एंड ऑफ द सेशन रिवर्सल्स, या फिर 8:30 और 9:30 रीटेस्ट। दोज आर लाइक कपल ऑफ 4 to 5 सेटअप्स which I trade. Not very complicated. These are discretionary systems. I do have other systems which are built for like automation. Those work on different concept. Um, Gap fill trade in gold Asia session. Yeah, generally whenever market opens, it opens with a gap, and whenever there is a 12 a.m. UK, what happens is it either does a liquidity sweep or does something and then reverses. Right, so that is a pattern which I kind of trade on a very regular basis. Right, so one is like the gap fill or the gap continuation trades. So that is very good trades as well. So if you see, this was the sweep where it swept and then started to dump, right? That is also at the start of the session, which is 7:30 a.m. Right? 15-minute sweep हो सकता है, हाँ हो तो सकता है. See, as I said, it might go until here or maybe sweep this liquidity and then again start to dump down it. I don't expect any bullishness from here ideally, but हाँ देखते हैं कि क्या होगा. It all depends on DXY as well, right? DXY might sweep this low and then start to pump. But again, I'll still technically wait for 8:30, which is opening right now, 8:30 and 9:30. So what I would prefer is obviously continuation trades. What do I mean by continuation trades? Abhi market is basically going up, right? So if let's say 8:30 opens here and it starts to create bearishness. Okay, even if for me to take a sell trade, I don't randomly take a sell like this, right? So what happens? Market opens 8:30, it will start to sell, or maybe it will start to buy. If it starts to buy, I'm anyways not interested because my bias is like towards the bearish side. But if it starts to sell, let's say, okay, then I would want it to come back to this level, which is the 8:30 or the 9:30 open, and then start to dump, right? So this is my entry, or this is my entry wherever I would take. That is much more easier for me to take because it is a continuation trade, right? So this is a reversal trade which we are looking at. So if you see this is a sweep, you are looking at a reversal expecting that okay, from here market can go down, but we never know if this is a reversal or if this is a continuation out of this move, right? So if this is a continuation out of this move, I am basically getting trapped over there. Rather than that, I'll basically look for a reversal trade itself, which is much easier, right? So if you look at my trade, which I took in Asia, sorry, London, what is it? It is a continuation trade. There were multiple confirmations before, right? Market opened here, right? This is the first sweep. Market came down in Asia. It was selling, 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 selling. It came up, took liquidity, again sold off, came up, took liquidity second time, again sold off. See how many times you need confirmations, right? Anyways, I would be sleeping in this area, so I don't trade. I waited for London Open. So London opened. This is where market was like going down, down, down. But there was no entry confirmation for me to trade, right? Although this was a breakout, right? If you see, this was a breakout, right? This was a breakout. I could have entered at the session open itself with a stop loss above this, but that is a very risky trade because there is no kind of see what is a sweep. Sweep is basically a stop hunt, right? So I don't see any buyers getting trapped. If I see any buyers getting trapped, that level is very strong for me to basically keep a stop loss for, right? So I don't see any stop loss or any buyers getting trapped in this particular zone. Although these all buyers got trapped in this low when it broke, but it's not a very strong indication. So I just waited, waited, waited. That is where 3 a.m. London opened, right? London exactly swept that high, whatever the recent high, and started to dump, right? So I just waited for some small confirmation on the lower time frame. This broke out. So when this low broke out, that is where I entered. The stop loss was above this because this was the sweep of liquidity, and this has to be protected, right? If someone basically took all the buy orders, this has to be protected. So that is where my stop loss was, and I just waited for the lows to be targeted, right? This was the low to be targeted, and this was one of my standard deviation levels, which I mark. So that was the daily level which I marked. So I just waited for it. I know that this is the liquidity sweep area. I could have waited until there, but again, I'm not very confident. Already I got a 1 to 4, right? So if I waited till here, maybe I would get 1 to 5, but it doesn't matter. 1 to 4 is pretty decent for a Monday, right? So I just left it over there. Now, if you see, I was not very much interested after the sweep. I was expecting this reaction. Yes, it did happen. Again, if you see, this is not a very good confirmation for me to take another sell, right? So although it did sweep at the open of the candle, it is not very good confirmation. So I just waited. It came down, retested the standard deviation level again, and then started to pump up. Now, if it starts to pump up, I'm not very much interested because my bias was bearish for the day. It is a daily red candle which is forming. Why do I expect, or like on this kind of trending day where the buyers were always trapped, right? Buyers were always trapped in this entire day. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Buyers were always trapped. If buyers are always getting trapped, how can I expect a buy from some of the levels. See, I'm not a scalper, I'm a day trader. That's the difference between a scalper and a day trader. As a day trader, I would want this entire candle to be mine, which means मैं सुबह से शाम शाम तक बैठूंगा मगर ये पूरा कैंडल काके ही निकलूंगा. So I want this entire candle to be taken out. So if my assumption is that today's candle is going to be a bearish candle, then I would want to take the maximum or the majority pie, whatever it makes. If it makes from, obviously I can't do it from open to close, right? That is not my agenda, or that is not my target as well. But if it is making an open here and if it is making a close somewhere here, then my agenda is to basically capture at least from here to here, right? So that's the only agenda. Now I see again 8:30 opened. This was the sweep. Now I would want a continuation. I would want it to show that by यहाँ पे buyer's trap हुए है. Once you understand that yes, this is a buyer's trap, now this is a protected level, then if there is a continuation and you see sellers are stronger, then I would be very much interested when it comes back, retest this level. Maybe I can take some entry over here, stop loss above this, right? हाँ मेरा the stop loss is bit bigger in this occasion, like not like this. But agar if for example let's say it comes here, makes a high and comes back, retest that 8:30 high and rejects, then my stop loss would basically be here. I don't have to keep a stop loss here. I hope you understand the difference, right? So that is pretty much it. I hope you got some value out of it when I explained. BTC देख भाई, BTC भाई BTC में यहाँ पे एक लेवल था मेरा, that got tested, that is where the breakout happened. वहां से एकदम it was very good move. Now if we see, do we have a level? Okay, think this is pretty crucial. ये ब्रेक करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा है बार बार and it is rejecting. So considering this as a fake breakout, तो अगर इसके नीचे जा रहा है, ये वाला लेवल के नीचे जा रहा है, इसके नीचे अगर कुछ क्लोजिंग वगैरह मिलता है, देन प्रॉबली सेल साइड अपॉर्चुनिटीज देख सकते हैं. ठीक है, इसके नीचे क्लोजिंग चाहिए, तब जाके थोड़ा बहुत सेल साइड अपॉर्चुनिटीज देख सकते हैं नीचे नीचे के साइड, राइट? बिकॉज ये हो गया फेक ब्रेकआउट. यहाँ पे ऊपर गया, ये ब्रेकआउट करने का कोशिश किया, मगर यहाँ पे स्वीप हुआ लिक्विडिटी, फिर बायर्स यहाँ पे ट्रैप हो गए थे, वहां से गिर गया था, फिर अगेन रिट्रेसमेंट, रिट्रेसमेंट अगेन ड्रॉप. नाउ वी वुड नीड समथिंग बिलो दिस, शोइंग दैट हाँ भाई मतलब बायर्स आर नो मोर there for it to support from this demand areas, right? That is where you can start to look for like sells. You can see this is the demand area, right? आपका ICT भाषा में ये तो फेयर वैल्यू गैप भी हो गया. आई डोंट look at them, but ये ICT भाषा में it is also a fair value gap, or like you can also call this as a demand zone, right? तो अगर इसके नीचे अगर कुछ क्लोजिंग वगैरह मिलता है, then it is a very good sell. अभी के टाइम पे whether we should buy or not, that is not a very good assumption, because आज के मार्केट में सब कुछ सेल ही रहा है. तो आई वुड बेसिकली लुक एट मोर टुवर्ड्स द सेलिंग साइड अगर कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटी बनता है तो, राइट? मैं कुछ भी हूँ एफपी का बुक में लिखता हूँ, एफपी का ये आता है इसमें, तो आई जस्ट नोट डाउन एवरीथिंग इन दिस. BTC I just explained. BTC I just explained. थोड़ा back, you just have to like go back a bit in the stream and see. हाँ सेल लग रहा है। हाँ सेल तो मैं सुबह से सेल में ही था, बट अगेन वही बात है कि यहाँ पे कंफर्मेशन कुछ नहीं है। सो अगर मार्केट ऊपर जा रहा है एंड यहाँ पे अगर हम सेल करेंगे तो ये फेक भी हो सकता है, हम ट्रैप हो सकते हैं। तो उससे अच्छा है कि थोड़ा बहुत इसको कंफर्मेशन देने दो कि भाई मैं नीचे जा रहा हूँ या कुछ और हो रहा है नीचे। ठीक है, अगर ये लो टूट गया तो ये लो टूटने के बाद इसका रीटेस्ट या इसका रीटेस्ट पे हम सेल ले सकते हैं, वो थोड़ा बढ़िया रहेगा। तेरा मेलेडी कर दूंगा मैं। सुबह में मिल गया भाई टीपी। थैंक यू तेज भाई, बस आपकी कृपा। रोज का लाइव आने का टाइम क्या है ब्रो? 4 बजे दुबई टाइम लाइव होता है, तो आई थिंक वो अप्रोक्सीमेटली अपना इंडियन टाइम के हिसाब से अभी कितना हो रहा है, 8:40 8:30 हो रहा होगा। तो आई थिंक 7 बजे या 7:30 को स्टार्ट होता है स्ट्रीम। बस बैन बैन ना करते एफपी वाले आपको। सी अगर हमने यहाँ पे इफ यू वुड हैव टेकन ए सेल, तो अभी पैनिक करते रहेंगे कि भाई ऊपर आ रहा है ऊपर आ रहा है। तो इसको थोड़ा बहुत टाइम देना पड़ेगा फॉर इट टू कन्वर्ट इनटू द बेयरिश ट्रेंड, एंड उसके बाद वी कैन टेक्निकली लुक फॉर सेल्स। माय ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड इन एफपी इज 12-0। 12 मतलब फेलियर्स ना, मतलब 12 ब्रीच एंड 0 पास। नीचे इंडिकेटर कौन सा है न्यूज़ वाला? तो न्यूज़ वाला ये बेसिकली आपको अगर उस दिन कुछ न्यूज़ है ऐसा लाइन दिखाएगा इंडिकेटर्स में, ताकि आप जब भी ट्रेड कर रहे हो तो थोड़ा बहुत यूएसडी न्यूज़ वगैरह हाई इम्पैक्ट न्यूज़ देखने के लिए आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है फॉरेक्स फैक्ट्री खोल के वगैरह, तो इसमें दिखा देता है। इंडिकेटर का नाम है न्यूज़ लाइव इकोनॉमिक कैलेंडर बाई 2D 2D 2 डिग्रीज, ये वाला है। ये वाला इसमें यूएसडी हाई इम्पैक्ट सेलेक्ट कर लो, आपको लाइन मिल जाएगा। मैं तो टुडे का न्यूज़ सेटिंग किया था ताकि आज का अगर कुछ न्यूज़ है दिखा देगा। इफ़ यू कीप इट ऑन लाइक हायर टाइम फ्रेम तो आपको पूरा वीक का न्यूज़ भी बता देगा, मतलब अगर मैं डेली में करूँ। ठीक है, तो ये वीक का न्यूज़ भी बता देगा। तो 5 तारीख को ये न्यूज़ है, जोल्स ओपनिंग जॉब ओपनिंग्स। 8 तारीख को इतना नॉन फार्म एम्प्लॉयमेंट चेंज एंड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट है। तो उस दिन ऐसा दिखा देगा। फॉर एग्जांपल हम अगर कल ट्रेड कर रहे हैं देन इट विल शो लाइक May 5th एंड दिस इज द न्यूज़ फॉर द डे, वैसा कुछ दिखा देगा। तो आज तो न्यूज़ नहीं है तो कुछ लाइन वगैरह नहीं आ रहा है, मगर न्यूज़ है तो लाइन आ जाएगा। अचानक भूल जाते हैं ना, लाइक वो खोल के देखना पड़ेगा आपको। कभी कभी ट्रेड कर लेते हैं न्यूज़ में तो ब्रीच हो जाता है। Do you think gold will retest today's wick low? See, I don't know if this is going to be the low of the day, but looking at all of these gaps, right, there is a high probability that it might reverse, but it can, if it is not reversing right now or like at the 9:30 open, probably it will wait until the session ends, sweep some kind of liquidity, this one, and then maybe start to come down. Whether it will retest this today or not, I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see. But if it is coming down, it won't be a retest of this. Most probably it will dump down towards this level, which is 4510. It will mostly dump towards these levels, 451019, uh, considering 4500. वहाँ तक भी जा सकता है if it is coming down, right? But if it is not, if it is just want to consolidate यहाँ पे and then close for the day, then that is a different story. बट देखना पड़ेगा। इट हैज़ टू शो बेरिशनेस। अभी कुछ बेरिशनेस नहीं है, बस साइडवेज है। मतलब खुलने के बाद, ये कैंडल खुलने के बाद नीचे गया, ऊपर गया, फिर वापस यहीं पे घूम रहा है। अगर मैं यहाँ से बॉक्स मारूँ तो इट इज़ जस्ट रोमिंग ओवर अराउंड हियर। तो इसमें क्या ट्रेड करोगे आप? बाई करोगे, इट विल टेक स्टॉप लॉस। सेल करोगे, इट विल टेक स्टॉप लॉस। What exactly are you looking with your 4H candle? Just the direction of the candle itself. So what I do is sometimes when this candle starts, right? So whenever this candle starts, which means it started somewhere here. So not even here. I think it started somewhere here. All right. So when it started, so I just want for it to make some kind of a wick and then start to like take its direction. So if you see this candle, basically what it did, it opened here, right? It opened here. Now it is going down, going down, going down, going down. It did not make any wick. Yeah, let it go down. It's fine. But when it started to make that wick, okay, now it is starting to make that wick. It is bullish. Now on a pullback, I can basically look for scalps towards the buy side because this is the candle low formed for the 4H, which means for this 4 hour candle, this is technically going to be the low. इससे नीचे तो नहीं जाने वाला है. So you can basically look for scalps for that particular time frame when you have an understanding कि हाँ इसने wick बना दिया है and it is basically going to go upside, right? Always there is a possibility that you see that it is making a wick and it will come down again like this. That is when there is a pure trending day. So you should not apply the same logic on that day. But generally the 4 hour buyers will give you some kind of a sense कि भाई कुछ क्या हो रहा है. So if you see it went till the open, this candle, what happened? Buy went until the open, it made a green candle and then it started to reverse again back towards the red side, right? So which means buyers still want to take control from these levels, right? Not the sellers. Now if it starts to break out, then this would close as a bullish candle. Currently, 1 more hour is left. So if that bullish candle is closing somewhere here, right, then the next candle can start maybe sweep that candle high and then start to reverse if it has to. Or if it has to maybe continue towards the bullish side and make a bullish candle for the day, then our bias might shift to bullish, provided this at least out of this daily candle, 50% above it starts to trade, right? If it starts to trade above this 50% of this entire candle range, which means this is the candle range. If it starts to trade above the 50%, then we can look at target this open, which is there, which means it is going to try and make a bullish candle, right? So the bias is pretty simple. You'll understand what the market is doing. Just play with what the market and the higher time frame candle is playing out with. You don't have to overcomplicate too many things. Mhm. 'किसी ने कुछ ट्रेड लिया? Anyone took any trades today? Okay, shorted Asia. Nice trade. Sideways to down now. Bank Nifty trade is saying. Yeah, let's see. Nothing interesting. Sumit says I'm in buys. From which level are you in buys? Abhi? या फिर you took somewhere earlier when the sweep happened? If you took it over here, it's a good trade. Mm-hmm. 62.5. Oh wow. Okay. Hmm. Maybe a break and a retest, no? यहाँ पे decent rate. Yeah, decent. Yep, 130 pips. Mhm. Took Lucid account today using EOT. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. Hope you pass it. Can you give me a blueprint how to trade Asia Open in the mornings? I got trapped more often than not. Just wait for the candle to form, right? So when you do an Asia trade, this is where the gap up happened. Now you would have to understand what is it wanting to do first of all, right? So this was the range, right? Make it to form either a range or like a continuation pattern, right? So when the continuation pattern or like the range is broken, right? That is when you'll understand कि अच्छा यहाँ से break हुआ, then it is trying to go bearish from here, right? So that is where you start to take trades, right? Don't go blindly in exactly at the open. Even if you go blindly in, it is way too early for you guys to do that. It is 3:30 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning. 3:30, I think, the Asia Open. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the live stream, just click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Any more questions, guys, or else we can wrap this up. कुछ हो तो नहीं रहा है. Pretty much sideways for now, unless the market opens at 9:30 and then starts to reverse. Yeah, guys, if you have any more questions, just drop it in the chat. I'll try to answer before we close the stream. Next move. What are the possibility liquidity pools for this price? The possible liquidity pools is one is this area, which is this high, and the second is basically this area itself, the low. These are the both areas which we have to look out for, right? Next move price का क्या हो सकता है? What is the possible liquidity pool? हाँ, see the same thing as I said. Abhi, this session is basically going bullish, right? There is no sign of bearishness on a bearish day where the buyers have been trapped multiple times. तो अगर इसको थोड़ा बहुत वेट कर लेते हैं, हाँ, अगर आपको स्कैल्प वगैरह करना है देन ऑब्वियसली बाई साइड थोड़ा देख सकते हो, बट आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन ऑफ बाई when the entire sell leg is basically playing out and making money. तो कभी भी chance है कि basically you'll be trapped. So I would wait rather than going for a buy side. Wait for a sell leg to confirm, right? तो अगर कुछ sell leg confirm होता है, then I'll wait for a retest of this 830 level or the 930 open. The 930 opens at like after 1 hour or like 30 minutes, right? This is where the 930 opens. Right, so अगर 930 open का level पे retest आता है, then that is something which I'll look for a sell. Otherwise, I am pretty much sideways for the day. I'm done trading for today, right? So you can see, right? So someone who would have bought it in this leg would have got most probably trapped in this retracement, right? Maybe it might even break this. So if it breaks this, right, and then comes back to a retest of 830, that is a good sell trade for me, right? Because there is a sweep of liquid. See, that is what exactly what I told. So I don't like taking opposite the bias, although it shows good bullishness, right? So now it broke this level. All the buyers who took over here, over in this retracement got trapped. Now it is just a retracement play. Wait for a retracement and then take a sell from there. Can you suggest Euro USD? Okay, Euro USD. भाई Euro USD is at this demand zone, took support from this demand zone technically, right? So second thing is DXY, as I said, is going bullish now. So if this is going bullish, right, dollar is becoming stronger. So if dollar is becoming stronger, right, I don't know what is the strength of euro, but if euro also starts to basically look become stronger, then this starts to become sideways. Otherwise, looking at the momentum, if you see pretty much a bearish day, but again, it took support from the demand zone. So we have to wait and see how this plays out before we can do something, right? Uh, Technically, the bias remains bearish for today, but again, you can't sell somewhere in between like this, right? So you would have to wait until some kind of like a liquidity or something basically goes both sides. If you want to sell, maybe wait for this sweep. This is an area which you can look for a sell, right? That's an area which you can look for a sell. But again, currently it is bullish, so I would wait for the current 4 hour candle to make that wick. As I said, it has to make that wick, go up, make a wick, and start to reverse. That is where I'll be much more interested to take a sell in Euro USD, right? Um, so yeah, again, see, pretty much sideways, took liquidity here. So it did stop out multiple people on the buy side. Now it is retracing back. So we would have to see what it does after here, right? But again, I'm more inclined towards sells. I'm not inclined towards buys at all. Even though this looks like a very good liquidity sweep and all, I'm not interested towards the buys. What is your average RR? Bro, totally depends on the system when I'm trading and the levels which I mark. So you see, these are the levels which I marked, right? So whenever I take a trade, I generally target the level which is closest. So I don't know where I will get a trade, whether I'll get a trade here. So if I was active in Asia, maybe I would have taken a sell from somewhere here or here. This is one of my levels. So if I would have taken a sell from here, my target would have been this, right? So this is like a very lucrative 1 to 7 or a 1 to 8, but I took somewhere in London over here, right? So if you look at that RR, it was 1 to 4, right? My average RR totally depends on whether the levels are hit or levels are not hit. So if this blue line gets hit, then my targets for the week are done. So I generally scalp after that for just 40, 50 pips, 50, 60 pips. That's it. Not more than that. I just scalp 1 to 1 trades, 1 to 1.5 trades, or even sometimes negative risk reward trades with very aggressive scalping, right? So that's something which I do. कौन से इंडिकेटर? बस कुछ इंडिकेटर इंडिकेटर नहीं है भाई, बस इट शोज कैंडलस्टिक का हायर टाइम फ्रेम, इट शोज सेशंस एशिया का, लंदन का, न्यूयॉर्क का, and the other indicator is basically this, which is the news indicator. I do use a custom indicator which I have built for trading, just to know the bias, but it all depends on like what happens, right? 64 से sell है. Currently SL is at 74. 74, 74, 64 sell. Pretty much I think should be okay. So as we saw, obviously this closing was not strong. अगर यहाँ पे नीचे closing देके यहाँ पे retest के लिए आता है, then that would have been much more good. But again, 64 sell is somewhere below. Okay. You should have waited for a 830 retest. As I said, यहाँ पे retest पे अगर 68 पे कुछ मिलता तो it would have been a good trade. 68 and a 74, 75 SL is technically okay, but I would still like it if this would have been closed below, then that would be a very good trade. But इसने closing नहीं दिया था नीचे. It just made a wick and then came back for a retest. But technically, it is still okay. Maybe it might come a bit more higher and then start to drop. All right, guys. I think that is pretty much for today. We just sat for 1 hour. Thank you for coming to the stream. I hope the stream helped in answering some questions and gaining some knowledge. Chalo, we'll close the stream. Thank you. Tata. Bye bye.